Are you team vision board or not? I know that vision boards are kind of this trending thing that not even just entrepreneurs, but a lot of people really enjoy creating a vision board as they go into the new year. A lot of people do it with real magazine cutouts, or at least they used to. And now a lot of people are doing them online, like with Canva. And I've never really been team vision board. I mean, not since I was, a teenager or maybe in my 20s did I really do a vision board type of activity. And, I have always set goals for the new year. I have always, thought about what I wanted to do or achieve, but I never actually created a vision board until this year. So I did it in 2023 going into 2024. And I think it's no accident that this was my quantum leap year. So I thought it would be really fun to get on here and do a vision board review and kind of just talk about my experience creating one, since it really was the first time that I've done this. And then this is kind of a 2-part episode. My second half of the episode, I'm going to bring on my friend Megan Blacksmith, because we just did an Instagram live all about her event happening in January. So I wanted to get this on the podcast sooner rather than later. So you'll be able to listen to a little bit of that Instagram live and decide if you want to make the trip to Virginia Beach to join her 2-day event happening in January. So what do you say we get started? Part 1, part 2 of this episode. Welcome back to the Messy Success Podcast. I'm your host, Elizabeth Henson. I help creative business owners and artists build communities around your brand so that business is easy and profitable. When you stay in action, yes, I mean even messy action, only good things happen. We are always learning, and when we can get just as excited about the lessons as the results, magic happens. I've helped million-dollar companies with their marketing, but my mission in this world is to help you step into the best possible version of yourself so you can create your dream business too. We believe in community and people over strategies and tactics. Our theme here at the Messy Success Podcast is the 1% adventure, where we're focusing on getting 1% better every single day. I want you to color outside the lines and embrace the messy journey to take daily action towards your goals. If you've noticed a plateau in your business, we've created a very quick quiz where you can find out your next best move. Head over to elizabethhenson.co/next to find out. Now let's get started. All right, so let's get started, and we're going to talk about my vision board review. So debrief. I like the word debrief better. So what I did this year, since it was my first year doing the vision board, I absolutely love Catherine Zankina with Manifestation Babe, and she has a program called Vision Board Alchemy. I'm pretty sure she will sell it again this year, so make sure you follow her over at Manifestation Babe. And keep an eye out, because I would not be surprised if she does it again. And it's just like a mini course. I mean, just a few modules about how to really create a vision board and get the most out of it. So I'm not going to spend too much time, obviously, just reteaching everything that she taught. But what I am going to share is what I feel like worked for me with a vision board, what I can do better next time, how cool it is to look at this and to reflect at all that I have accomplished in 2024. And really, the most important piece, and Catherine stresses this too, and I've really been sharing about this over and over on the podcast when it comes to our energy and manifesting and our vibrational frequency, all of this stuff that's like a little bit more on the woo-woo side of the spectrum is really what makes the difference. And it's not about just cutting out a picture of what you want. It's like ingraining it into your way of being, like fully taking on this feeling of having the thing as truth. Okay. And one of the really cool things that she has you do on your vision board is like actually to include one or two items that you have already achieved, accomplished, or manifested. And that has you kind of sitting in that feeling of this is already reality, it's already mine, which is really how you want to approach the whole vision board when you look at those pictures, is that feeling of excitement that it's coming with 100% certainty, and that feeling that it's already yours. And I thought that was really cool and something I'd never really heard or never really done before on a vision board. So I'll share a few of the things that were on my vision board. Some of them were not meant to be manifested in 1 year. She also talks about how sometimes, our manifestations or our things that we're trying to build or attract, they're not always in the 1 year calendar. So I'm looking at it right now. I would say 3 of my items were, 2 of the items were meant to be long-term. I'm looking at the other one being like, okay, I kind of halfway did that one. One of them was to redo my office. And I have actually done that. Probably not as extreme of a makeover as I was envisioning, but I am very happy with the work in my office that I have done. I have a beautiful, like, kind of silence/meditation corner that I did not have before. I gave my office a really good cleaning. I added some really pretty shelving with some plants. So I definitely gave the office a facelift. We'll say that. I did not give it the full makeover that I think I was intending, but I got a facelift. And then there, like I said, I was kind of counting that one as one that was meant to be longer term, but I'm now like, no, I actually did that. So there's 2. There's like my dream car and my dream house are on this specific vision board, but I knew that, not very likely that either of those were going to happen in 2024. So those will continue to stay on my vision board for next year. The thing on my vision board that I had already accomplished was when I was at Business by Design last year, their live event, which is actually when this episode goes live, I'll have already returned. So I'm leaving this Wednesday for that event, and then I'll be back on Sunday. So literally by the time you guys listen to this, I'll have already come and gone to another Business by Design live. But last year when I attended, I made a donation to my friend Nicole's nonprofit. And of course, James gives away really incredible prizes, the bigger donation you give, which is why I went to that trip to Sedona this year. So I had a picture on my vision board that represented this donation that I made because I was really stepping into like a completely different version of myself to do that. That was very big, scary, uncomfortable investment. And I wanted to include that on my vision board because it was this constant reminder of like, this is my new this is my new identity, right? I am someone who does this. I am someone who does this and who will continue to do this kind of thing. And then, of course, I had a picture that represented my event, which when I made the vision board, I don't think I had really done anything for except maybe chosen the space and made the deposit. Maybe not even yet. my running. So I knew that I was going to keep up with my running this year, which I have done. Um, and then representation of all my new students, which was absolutely a reality. Um, and then you can put some mantras on your vision board. So I had the mantras like making money is easy, everything is working for me, and everything I'm learning is helping me become a millionaire. So I really loved this particular way of doing a vision board because I would say the majority of it I completed and took on is like new beliefs, new ways of being. And then the rest of it is not something that I'm looking at saying, oh, I didn't do that. But it's like, oh, it's still happening. It's still all working for me. It's still all in my future. And it's, vision boards, you don't want them to turn into like the gym membership where you have this dream and you never go, or you have all these things that you wanted to happen in the year. And then when you look back on it, you're like, oh, I didn't do it. I didn't stick to my goals. Right. And I feel like this way of creating a vision board like prevents that from happening because you're truly creating it from a place of this will be mine and it's only a matter of time. And this is just an exercise that I'm doing to continue to practice, like stepping into that new identity so that these things come easily. And it doesn't matter how successful you are, where your starting line is, whether you have nothing or whether you already have millions. These types of things are always relevant. And Megan and I actually talk about that a little bit in our live, which I'm about to share. It does not matter what level you are at. There are always limitations to uncover. And a vision board is a way of really focusing on taking on these newer identities that help you create the reality that you want. And, call it woo woo, whatever you want. But the way I look at energy, vibration, manifestation, and attraction, just because you can't see something with your eyes doesn't mean that it's not real. Like, think about the law of gravity, right? We all know gravity is very real, but we can't see it and we choose to believe it anyway. And human beings, as our vibrational frequency is what we attract, is true. We just can't see it with our eyes. So, I love this world of like balancing woo woo with science. And Megan actually does an incredible job at that. So that's a really good lead in. And this is an Instagram live that we did last week, all about Megan's event that is coming up in January. Her early bird special is about to end if it hasn't already. But I did want to give her a little bit of a space here on the podcast as we continue to promote her event and invite you guys all to come in January. So let me go ahead and bring on that Instagram live, which is part 2 of this episode, which is only going to help you understand that the way that we think and the way that we operate and reprogram our mind, which is what Megan does, helps you attract what you want in these future vision boards. Okay, so the intention today, what we're going to be talking about is Megan's event in January. So for my locals here in Hampton Roads, for people that like to travel, we're going to talk about Megan's event. But Megan, I know you've been on my podcast. You spoke at Elevate and Inspire. There's kind of top secret information that you might be back at Elevate and Inspire this year. So some people know you, but there's plenty of people that I'm sure don't. So tell us like who you are, what you do.
Yes. Okay. I'm so excited. So, um, Liz has been my hero at watching her build her local communities and host her events. So I've been copying you, Liz, and um, it has been so awesome. What I do is I help people who, most specifically, people who have something awesome they want to share with the world. So they have a business, they have a gift. We end up attracting a lot of healers and helpers, people who have content creators who have a gift, they want to share it with the world, and things aren't quite lining up the way they would like, meaning maybe they know they're good at what they do, but they're not making money doing it.
Mm.
Or they know they have this amazing thing to get out into the world and they do the project 90% of the way and like never hit publish on the podcast, never actually send the book in, right? Like they get a good amount of the way there, or they know that they have something they really want to share and there's something blocking them, this hidden imaginary thing blocking them. And that's what I'm really good at, Liz, is finding what that thing is. And then we use NLP, neuro linguistic programming, and hypnosis to actually remove the block, rewire what they do want. There's tons of tools for people to anchor into the positive feeling, for them to have a different strategy. If you do it now, we have a strategy for everything. We have a strategy for procrastination. We have a strategy for being irritated. We have a strategy for working out, right? We have a strategy. It's just whether we like them or not, whether they're working or not. So we help people find their strategy. So success leaves clues. So we can take strategies that are working for other people and apply them to our business, or we can find out an area of life where we were really great at something and say, what am I doing there? Like, obviously, I'm thinking a certain way, I'm being a certain way. What am I saying to myself? What am I feeling? What am I seeing? And then you can map that right over and use it in a different area of life, because those strategy that works for us in one place does work everywhere. We just don't realize we're not using it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes so much sense because I'll catch myself being like, God, I have it all together over here in my business. Why can't I get it all together over here, in my personal life or in my health and nutrition or whatever it might be? So I know the importance of what you do because I've experienced it. I think the most difficult part for people is like, how do they self diagnose that they might need what you guys need help with? Like, what comes up for me is like when I get that narrative that's like, oh, I just need to do this, or when I get to, there's a lot of need to, if I can just get through this week, next week will be better, that type of language. But how could someone self diagnose if they're like the perfect person for what you guys do?
Yeah, so I think really tapping into like the stories we tell ourselves, so that mental chatter, the mental gremlins we like to call them, what those gremlins are, and how much resistance are we getting from ourselves on a day to day to actually do that thing we want to do. So people who say they know like consciously that they have this habit they want to start doing, or they have this business they want to start building, they know posting on social would be a good idea and it has worked in the past, or they know making that phone call, and yet they're just it seems to always fall to the bottom of the list, or it just seems
Mm.
to, for the people, my favorite group of people to work with are people who already have some kind of structure, like they have a business, they have a product. And the cool thing about that is that usually it can be a small tweak in a belief where they can go from, I've helped lots of people go beyond $1 million. And it wasn't that they started selling a new product or doing a different thing. It was they used what they already had. There was just usually something there, and this just happened to me too. There was just this little blinder in the way. There was just this little area that I personally hadn't addressed for myself, and as soon as I put that last piece into practice, I was like, what, why have I not been doing this, right? Like, when there's just something, you already know what to do. We the confusion will set in, like, or the busyness, right? The productivity will set in of like, okay, you've made jokes before, right? Like going to Canva and changing your colors again, or we get into that mode, and then don't do the things that actually move the needle, because there's something scary, like emotionally, usually about it. Not it's not hard. It might be a 5-minute call or email, but there's something about it, like I could get rejected, and then also it could be, or I could do really, really well. And then what will happen? Oh, will I have to have a team? Could I handle that? Well, what if I have haters? Could I handle that? So there's both sides of the spectrum of like, people think they just are afraid of failing, and then they start to do well and realize, oh my God, I'm actually really afraid of succeeding. I'm
Yeah.
actually really afraid of my own power and how big this could be or great this could be. And what my job is to help people expand that container so that they can actually step into like how big they want to be. And I think if there's some upper limit you're coming up against, that's one of the ways to self-diagnose. So I've worked with people, and imagine you have too, who maybe used to be in corporate or came from a different area, and they're like, no matter what they do, they can't get past that corporate number. They're like, if I made 80,000 in corporate, I cannot get past that, even though I have an online business that could just double. Like, it with an online business, there's not really that same limit. um, and they just won't pass it. Or there's something, maybe their parents, I've had this, their parents never made over a certain amount, and they will not pass that number, because that's inclusion, and that's important, that's safety, like being like your family, fitting in.
Yeah.
So in the back of their mind, not consciously, because consciously we're like, where's the money? I'm ready. But there's something. So we joke around in our training. So once is a fluke, twice is a pattern, three times is definitely a pattern. So if you basically, anytime you see a pattern in your life, even if it looks like, oh no, it's just a coincidence, like, oh, my launch got canceled three times, but one was kids and one was COVID and one was whatever, it might seem like a coincidence. It never is.
No, that's a pattern. Yeah, yeah. Well, and I love that you said you just experienced kind of a shift, the other day, because like, we never really outgrow this work. Like, it's almost like the glass ceiling or whatever you say just keeps getting shattered the more you grow. You're like, "Oh, there's another block, there's another block, there's another one."
Yeah, so I for just to share my own story, just because I think people always really relate to our everybody's struggles. But there's, we do our 2 day in-person program that we'll share at the end of this. We have a 2 day event, and we also have like a 7 day in-person training and or a level two. So we have these really small offers, and then we go to like 6,000, 8,000, 15,000. Right? It's a big jump. And for whatever reason, I had decided at some point that I didn't need to be doing a lot of one on one. I think I had done a lot when I was in health coaching before this business. And I was like, I don't want to, or I don't know, I had a story around that. So I really
Mhm.
had stopped mostly doing that. And what I just realized recently, is that there's this gap of people coming to find us from there to like a whole 7 day practitioner training. That's a pretty big leap. Some people
Yeah.
are all in, they're like me, they just buy kinesthetically, and they're like, I love transformation, let's do this. I want to be able to speak clearly. I want to be a great communicator. I want to just make more money, and I know this will happen. And then there's other people who are like, I don't know what you're talking about. It sounds cool, but I need to experience it. So in the training I was just in, I was like, why am I not doing these like bite-sized breakthroughs? Like, why am I not giving people an experience? And I had some beliefs and stuff around it, and I had some time beliefs, and was able to completely reframe that. And I think I have 5 people now out of my 8 that I'm doing like a beta for a little one. It's a one-on-one 12-hour breakthrough. And I am already realizing that, even I've only done one session with some of the people, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, now I'll come to training. I get it now." And I was like,
Yes,
"One
you have to
session?"
experience that little bit, which is what's so great about this opportunity for your 2-day event.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay,
Right, the
so
bite-sized way of experiencing something. And I think that's for everybody who's listening who has their business. I think really thinking about like, what is that version in your business where you get people that bite-sized offer, like you and I are doing the local free meetups, or the 2 day event, or maybe it's an online workbook, it's an online small thing. But really having, I think once we got that upfront offer, like our 2 day event, we're only, early bird $197. Like, I mean, this is not even an hour of one of our time. There's two of us for like 20 plus years. Alex is an MD. Like, we have so much knowledge we've packed into 2 days that it is lit. I mean, I know it's a no brainer. Everybody knows it's a no brainer, but we want to make it so that we have an offer where people can come really experience this from us in a very different way for the first time, in like a safe space, that they don't have to jump into this huge huge program without realizing. And we have people come back to the 2 day year after year, just to do it again. We have our students who've been through all of our training, they still come back. It's just like that, getting back into that energy of transformation, of possibility. We have a whole series on the podcast this month. It's our series of possibility. It's like priming the brain for all the good stuff's possible.
yeah. And just having the container, I mean, online is great. There is just nothing like being in the room though, and giving yourself the time and the space and the container to really focus and turn all those distractions off. There's nothing like it. And as much as I love having an online business, what I've realized is just the in-person piece will transform your business so much faster as a host and as an attendee. It's just as important that we push the pause button as business owners and attend things like this so that we can turn off the noise and really turn inward and get to that next level. And this is such a good opportunity for people to do that, whether you're just starting out or whether you're already wildly successful, whatever that looks like to you. I think there's something for everyone at this event. Do you want to speak a little bit to like who might get the most out of it, even though I already know anybody, Joe Schmo on the street?
Well, we have been really starting to attract what I call conscious business owners or entrepreneurs, but just people who really have a big mission and a big goal, and
Mm,
they're heart centered. They care about people, and they want to get the tools of persuasion. They want to get the tools of language. They want to get the tools of like tapping into like getting into the physical body. Um, and a lot of the people we attract are really interested in things like NLP, but they might have a little bit of hesitation of like, oh, well, is that some weird thing where you're persuading people you shouldn't be? And what people who work with us find is that as long as you have something that you feel is really awesome that you're offering the world, then we do believe it's your job to become persuasive. Like we think that learning these skills, learning really powerful coaching skills, whether you ever want to be a coach or not, like self-coaching is the first game. Like the coaching in your head, the asking yourself the good questions, which is what the language is behind. NLP is just really like pulling out other people's model of the world. Like what are they thinking? Like if
mhm,
someone's doing an action that you're like how are they doing that, you have to understand that there has to their way of thinking got them to that action. If you had their thoughts and their model of the world, you'd be doing that action too. So you can start to figure out like, well, what could they possibly be thinking or saying to themselves or believing to have that action. And once you can drop into somebody else's model of the world, you can help them really quickly, because then you
yeah,
can see this is the basis of negotiation, which is not just for like big negotiations. This is for like your kids and your partners and your business partners and your people who work with you. As soon as we chunk up, meaning we get to the highest intention. So like, what is the highest intention of this thing you're doing right now? And usually as we go up and up, we realize that all parties usually have a pretty similar high intention. They're trying to get to community, connection, peace, love, you know, be included, worthy. And then we say, okay, well, now that we all know we have the same highest intention, we can actually start to get a bit different strategy that works for all of us. So all that to say, people who have a business want to have better coaching skills, want to be coaching themselves. These tools are all right, like you said, they're great for just using with your family or at home too. But we do attract people who are looking to grow something. Maybe it's a nonprofit, but something they have a mission of some kind. They know they have a purpose, or they're trying to find their purpose. That's fine too, because this work is how I really found my purpose. I got dropped into it. I never planned on being an NLP trainer. Like I was in health coaching, and this just opened my world for the health clients. They were getting results so much faster with the same protocol. And I was like, oh, we can't be ignoring what's in between these two ears. This mind of ours is incredibly powerful. So anybody who's eager to really understand what drives them and what drives the people they work with, and come on down for 2 days. So well, we have January 17th and 18th in Virginia Beach. It will be 2 full days. So if you went to Liz's event, then you know that you need to actually have like the whole time. We're like, don't plan on doing other things. Really set the time aside, so that you can fully immerse yourself. That's the cool part about being out of your environment for a couple of days. We have people fly in every year, local too, but it's you're getting out of your regular environment, and that's when you start to rewire your mind. You make new neural pathways really, really quickly when you're out of your regular environment.
yeah. I mean, and even though it's great for local people, I found with my event, the people who traveled had a slightly better experience because they were fully present. They didn't, they weren't able to sneak out early to go pick up a kid or whatever it may be. So I think even if you are local, just giving it that full commitment as if you're traveling is wildly important. And I know I'm gonna stick to that a little bit more this year than I did last year now that I've experienced it. And you guys have how long have you been doing this 2-day in-person event? Because I know you're like, "Oh, Liz, I'm learning so much from you." I'm like, "Yeah, but you've been hosting these for a while."
This will be our third one here in Virginia. We do it twice a year. This is
Yeah.
our third one here in Virginia Beach, and then we do it twice a year in Dallas. So I believe this is our fifth or sixth total.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Well, for anybody who's watching, who's on my email list, I did send out all the details last night, so make sure you check your email. That's where you can go to Megan's actual detail page and learn all about the event. Is there anything else, Megan, that you think people should know that might be thinking about signing up or on the fence? This is in January, so you guys have we're like at the 6-week mark right now, which I think is the perfect amount of time to plan for something.
Yeah, so I think everybody knows the whole they start January 1st and then they fall off their stuff by the end of January. So these are tools that will allow you to keep your momentum. I think some of the friendships that people have made, I mean, in a 2-day event, I mean, in our 7-day event, we've ended up having people actually get matching tattoos. We have 4 people come in with matching tattoos on the last day of our training. We're like, oh my gosh. And at the training before that, the whole entire training got matching bracelets that had the coordinates of the training house. I was like, no pressure. I feel like this is a level of transformation that people have when they really come together to do this. There's the collective mind. I mean, it's like we really, really talk about building other people up. Like you build you up, you build them up, you share how awesome you are. And we practice that in the room. It's just something that is not really talked about. It's more, like we have to be humble, and I'm all about it. But like this is a place where we want people to learn to like shine and share themselves, and we keep it a really safe space so everybody can practice that, be that, do that. We do it, we model it. And yeah, the friendships alone, we've had people start businesses together, or come up with a retreat idea, right? Just because they were out of their normal environment. So come learn. We'd love to have you. I'm always happy to answer questions. Just DM me on Instagram at Becoming Zesty, or our email is support at Becoming Zesty. I'm always happy to chat if people have specific questions.
Yeah, and I just wanna encourage everyone, like, the power in just slowing down. I don't think we as a society realize how busy we are. I mean, we all realize we're busy, but I don't think we realize the fog and, like, this, um, trance that it almost puts us in, because now that I've kind of had this practice of slowing down, and whether it's silence and meditation, making time for trips like this, for programs like this, for containers to turn off all the noise and really just improve myself. I mean, it changes your entire life. I mean, it's changed my marriage, it's changed the way I parent, it's changed everything. And, a lot of times people that take social media breaks, the way they explained it to me in the past was like, it's like time slowed down. And I really do feel like making this commitment to attend something like this, anything in the self-development realm, gives you like that superpower to actually slow time down. It's wild.
I love that you say that. So what we're saying, 90% of success of a business is the psychology of the business owner. 90, some people say
Yeah.
95. So it's like you and I, right? We're taking time very soon to go to an event, and I'll be there, yours in the spring. Like I have something quarterly that I invest in going to, because I know when I leave that, and actually I've had 2 really big investments this year, 2 big over $10,000 investments. I just got back from one of them. And day one, I looked at the person I was talking to and I was like, I just got my money's worth in that first conversation. We hadn't even actually
Yeah.
started training or, going to the pyramids and doing all the cool stuff we ended up doing. If you look for the value, you will get it very quickly. Like Liz and I got to go to Sedona and got, I mean, I think we said, well, I said, even on the plane, on the flight there, we were sitting next to each other. I was like, that was worth my money right there. We're not even at the event yet. So the answers can be right around you. Just getting in the room with people who care about this stuff, who want to learn, who want to grow, who have ideas. You, yeah, you can't not get your money's worth.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, if you're trying to search with like, is this something I need? If you're even asking that question, then probably yes. And if you're saying things like, "Oh, well, when I just get through this, then I'll do this." Like, if you have a lot of if this, then that language going on in your mind or using that word, "I just need to," then this is probably the perfect event for you because you really train your brain not to speak in that way and to be really present in the right now, and then we have the control. There is no if this then that. It's all here. It's already happening for us.
We do have a lot of people come and say, well, I'm doing this other program, I'm doing this business program, I'm doing this thing, and I probably really should focus on that first. And sometimes, yes, although this kind of work is the work that makes all the other programs work. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, that's cool. You can focus on your program and building your things. But if you believe like you shouldn't be successful, or like your parents are going to disown you, or right, if you at an unconscious level have something just hanging out there of like not wanting to be visible, then you can take the actions all day long in the most amazing programs and end up very frustrated. So we say, like,
Yeah.
if you can do this work first, if you can't, at least layer it, because as you grow, you'll need it even more.
Yeah. I mean, even just attending the 2-day event, you'll walk away being able to pour into these other programs and experiences in a totally different way. Yeah. Okay, so tell us one last time when, where, and how they can find out more information.
Yep. So January 17th and 18th in Virginia Beach. If you happen to be a BBD or Next Level member, just email us because there's a little special thing happening for those people. And you can come to becomingzesty.com, or we also have it on our Instagram for /amplify. So amplify your impact. We're going to take the thing that you're already doing that's awesome and just amplify the heck out of it. We're hoping you leave lighter. We want you to drop some beliefs and just leave them so that 2025 is just smooth sailing and you can hit all your goals.
Yes, awesome. And I'll make the link really easy to find too once I X out of this live. And like I mentioned, if you guys are on my email list, I sent out everything you need in an email last night. So you guys have everything. I will be there. I cannot wait to see everyone and just have something local that is this amazing. All right. That was a little bit of an experiment. So if you're still listening, thanks for hanging there with us. I just wanted to replay that Instagram live here for you guys. In case you are interested in going to Megan's event, you can sign up at elizabethhenson.co/zesty, ZESTY, elizabethhenson.co/zesty. And then, of course, you can always find the show notes for this episode, and we will link it up there as well. This is episode 170. So elizabethhenson.co/E170. elizabethhenson.co/E170 for all the links to sign up for Megan's event. I will also, if Catherine Zinkina has posted anything about her vision board alchemy, I'll be happy to put that in the show notes as well. We're not affiliates or anything like that, but I do absolutely love her and love her content. So I encourage you to go check it out, and I will see you guys next week. As always, if you love this episode, please leave us a review on iTunes or share it with a friend. It would mean the absolute world to us. Thank you for being here today. I hope you are having a beautiful December and getting ready for a happy new year.